Charlie XCX, you did it. You did it again. You've won, and you know that. Our queen, Charli XCX, released her new album, BRAT. And let's say that the internet is going insane, and now everyone has their name written on a lime green background and a really bad and low resolution as their profile pictures. I'm here today in my BRAT dress. It's actually the only green color piece of clothing I own, so from now on, it's my BRAT dress to talk about BRAT, or specifically the album cover art, and where is design heading next? What is the future of design? Let's talk about design post BRAT album art cover. I'm going to start this video by asking a very important question. Is Charli XCX BRAT album art cover art? Is this art? For decades and decades, society has been debating a question that I personally don't think it's ever going to get an answer. But what is art? I don't know. Do you know? I mean, we kind of try to answer those questions, but it never convinced me, you know? None of the answers convinced me. In 1917, Marcel Duchamp created one of the most controversial artworks of the 20th century, Fountain. Probably seen this before. Duchamp basically purchased a porcelain urinal, simply signed Art Mutt, and submitted to the Society of Independent Artists. They were basically known for like accepting any artwork. It doesn't matter how good or bad it is, like they accepted anything. But despite this promise, Fountain was rejected, and Marcel Duchamp was pissed. And this whole incident kind of sparkled this debate on what constitutes art. Duchamp's act challenged this traditional notion of art and aesthetics, introducing the concept of ready-made, which is basically like everyday objects and... Why? Anyways, I was talking about ready-made, which is basically this concept of taking everyday objects that already exist and the artist kind of like introducing a new meaning to the objects. Like, for example, this is a pencil, but now it's not. Now this is a wand. I don't know if that was a good example, but I'm not an art teacher. I'm just a graphic designer with a camera and a microphone. So, but whatever. This provocative gesture of Duchamp kind of redefined art's boundary and profoundly influenced future movements like the Dada movement and conceptual art, cementing Duchamp's legacy as a visionary who questioned the nature of art. I really wanted to know what Marcel Duchamp would think of the BRAT album art cover. If I could go back in time, I would show Marcel Duchamp the BRAT album art cover. I would also play him the BRAT album because he's a man of 1917. Imagine that man listening to club classics or Van Dutch. That would be an experience. He's already ahead of time now in 2024. Oh, and I would not forget to show him the deluxe cover. We can't forget about the deluxe cover. The deluxe cover is... Alright, so in the past years, we witnessed the rise and fall of anti-design, a movement that rejects conventional aesthetics and principles in favor of a more experimental approach. It's disruptive, it's unconventional. The aim of anti-design is to basically question and subvert the norms of design. Anti-design is fascinating because it essentially asks, what if you throw the rule book out of the window? It challenges the idea of what is considered good, and it basically embraces the chaos, and I love that. It's very chaotic. And think about how that relates to music, for example. Genres like punk and grunge came about by challenging the polished, pristine norms of mainstream music. Anti-design basically does the same, but for visual art. I'm personally a huge fan of anti-design. I've done works in the past that can be considered anti-design. I still do, actually. I'm still, I guess, huge into anti-design. I've been very criticized for that, but it's okay because they don't get it. Anyways, my point is the BRAT album cover is anti-design gone minimal. Well, sort of, because I've never seen an album cover so loud and yet so simple. I mean, there's nothing quiet about this cover. This is UK underground techno. This is PC music. This is club culture. This is just very loud. Does this say quiet music to you? And if you still think that this album cover is ironic, I beg to differ. It's not. This is exactly what her music sounds like. It's not ironic, it's iconic. This album cover is lazy, this album cover is ugly, this album cover is this or that. Well, take a look at what is happening now. Everyone has their profile pictures exactly like this, and this is basically free promo. So I guess that worked, like marketing genius. Let's remember that Charli XCX is a huge mainstream artist. She probably has like a huge team, and I risk to say that this album cover wasn't decided nor designed in 3 minutes. And the amount of research this probably took, to convince, not Charli, because she seemed like she got it. She's a girl who gets it. She got it and she liked since the first time she saw this. Also, the label, that must have been insane. In fact, the album cover and packaging was designed by New York City-based studio Special Offer Inc. And one interesting thing is that in a cover story interview for Vogue Singapore, Charli spoke about how criticism made her question why fans feel such a strong sense of ownership over artists, to the point that they demand that her picture must be in all of her work. She expressed this feeling in a tweet in which she states, "I think the constant demand for access to women's bodies and faces in our album artwork is misogynistic and boring. Period." Charli also elaborated on the album cover and the color choice, describing green as overly used in media and fashion recently. She said, "I chose an offensive, off-trend shade of green to evoke a sense of something being wrong. I want us to question our pop culture expectations. Why are some things considered good and acceptable, while others are seen as bad? I'm intrigued by the stories behind these perceptions and aim to provoke thought. I'm not here to be nice." Facts. Queen of anti-design. If Charli XCX was a graphic designer, she will be an anti-design stan. Period. Anyways, back to the main point of this video, which is I'm inviting you to question yourself. What is the future of graphic design? I honestly don't know. But I think, if I had to guess, I think it might look like something like the BRAT album cover. It might look a little bit like this. Let's talk about why this album cover works. It's simple, yes, but simplicity can be powerful. So in a world where we're constantly hit by information and visual stimulation all the time, non-stop, something as stark and bold as the BRAT album cover just cuts through the noise. It grabs your attention precisely because it's so different from everything. It's a rebellion against the overly complex things we see all the time. Disclaimer, I'm not preaching about minimalism, okay? I'm not even into minimalism that much. Like, I'm not a minimalist myself. This is just an observation. And maybe it's not even that we're going minimal. We might just be going effortless. We're seeing a trend towards effortless. Think about social media. The curated feed is being replaced by this more authentic and raw content. And fashion is also moving towards comfort and simplicity. So why would graphic design not do the same? So let's explore this a little bit more. In the past, design was about perfection, was often about perfection. So perfectly aligned elements, colors that go together, that kind of stuff. But now we're seeing a shift. People are more drawn towards authenticity, to things that feel real and unpretentious. And the BRAT cover, it's kind of about that. It's loud, it's bold, and is simple. It's effortless. So next time you see a seemingly lazy design, ask yourself, is it really lazy or is it the future? Are we looking at a new form of art that challenges the perception of the viewer, that pushes us to think differently? Maybe that's just what design has always been about. Not just creating something that looks good, because also beauty is relative, but that's another topic. But creating something that strikes us and forces to think. Or maybe creating something that makes us angry. Just like any other form of art, it's okay to have different feelings towards graphic design. Because some people think that graphic design is this thing that it's inside a box and you can't take it out. And the only feeling you can and should have towards graphic design is a good feeling. So if people like it, it's because it's working. Because if people like it, it's profiting. But that's controversial. At least not how I think. So I guess I'm not gonna answer that either because I don't know. It's just my opinion. So that was the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, follow me on my socials, hit the bell button or whatever, subscribe so you can see more content about design and sometimes music because I like music period. Oh, and leave a comment down below on what's your favorite BRAT song. Mine personally is Rewind because, you know, sometimes I also wish that I could rewind back to before I was famous. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. The next video is gonna be me designing merch for Chaperone. Fake merch, of course. Unless she wants to hire me, it's fake. I don't care about spoilers. I'm spoiling the next video for you. That's my channel. I can do whatever I want. Okay, bye.